Hey, everybody.
Hey, I'm Kyanna.
And I'm Sean.
Welcome to All the Way There podcast.
Yep, we are filling in for Miss Keela B. Man, Keela B.
Yes, Miss Keela B. Today we are filling in. So we are excited to be here. And I just want to say, hi, Sean. How was your day today?
It was good.
It was good.
Yeah, I had a good day. It's been busy. What you been up to?
Yeah, we had the graduations going on, the prom going on.
Yep.
I want to tell you guys out there, for you that do not know, Miss Keela B graduated from Impact College this past week. And then Angel Brentley, her daughter, graduated from Macomb Community College with her associates in health and science. And then I know, woo, woo, woo. And then my daughter Kaylin, our daughter Kaylin, graduated from high school from 12th grade and will be going to Michigan State University. So congratulations to all three of them.
Yep. She had her prom send-off.
And she had her prom send-off. So we are so excited. We're still full from this past week. We want to say congratulations to all the hello Doris. We want to say congratulations to all the 2025 graduates out there. And did you want to tell them if they have any graduates?
Yeah. Tell us if y'all got anybody just graduating. If you're graduating from college, whatever, you know what I mean. Let us know. We want to celebrate you as well.
Yeah.
So, hey, listen. I guess we gotta make sure we ask everybody where we going today.
Where are we going today?
Where we going today, y'all?
All the way there.
Where are we going today? All the way there. Let's go.
All right. Thank you all so much for watching today. My name is Sean McDowell. Last time, this is actually our second time hosting in Keela's absence. So we want to just give Keela a big shout out for letting us jump on her podcast, and we greatly appreciate you. So I am her brother-in-law, Sean McDowell. Last time I came on, I think we told about who we were. I actually am a professional salesman for Xfinity residential sales. So if you need some Xfinity services, get at your boy. So, and this is my wife of 23 years. I'm gonna let her introduce herself.
Yes, I'm Kyanna McDowell. I am a mentor, a pastor, a mother, a wife, and a mother of two. So of Kia and Kaylin. So I wanted to throw that in there. And that's about it.
And I'm their father.
Oh, and he's their father. So I'm not his man.
Yeah.
All right. And we want to, again, officially thank Keela B for letting us be here on this show. We appreciate it, Keela. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, we really do. Thank you.
Yeah. We're going to go ahead and jump into some of the icebreaker, but before we jump into the icebreaker,
we want you all, if you think or know of anybody that would get something out of the podcast, please share, hit the share button, and let some of your friends and family know. You think they'll get something out of it. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay, you guys. So the icebreaker was posted on the All the Way There podcast page. So if you did not hear it, the question is, what is the strangest gift you ever received? So what is the strangest gift that you ever received? Hello, Carmelita.
Hey.
Hello, Pamela Davis. Okay. So what is the strangest gift that you ever received? Shy, you want to go first and tell them?
Strangest gift that I got actually was from my mom. She had gave me some of these shoes, and they were like I don't know, wood bottoms, and they clicked and knocked on the floor every time I walked, and it was just the craziest thing. And I used to get teased a lot with them shoes, and then they ended up cut and had a slit in them for some strange reason. I cut them. I don't know what happened, Mama. So anyway, that was my weird gift.
Where'd she get them shoes from?
Probably like Kingsway. Y'all remember Kingsway back in the day? Oh, yeah, some weird story. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Okay, my strangest gift was I worked at a school one time and they did the Kwanzaa thing where it was like the 7-day Kwanzaa. And I was buying my person. You had to give a gift each day, every 7 days, every day up to 7 days. And my person, I got them good gifts. So each day they got these nice new gifts. And my person kept giving me little stuff like popsicle sticks. Used popsicle sticks. It was all kind of used gifts. And then the last day I said, well, maybe they set me up to give me something big on the last day. Mm-hmm. And then they did. And they gave me this big old bottle of lotion that was half used. I was so upset. I couldn't believe it. Okay, this person say the strangest gift I received was an old stale chocolate from Halloween. And and it may. Oh, wait, hold on. And it May the next year. I think, is she trying to say it was the chocolate, and I think, was it like May the next year or something like that? I think that's what you're trying to say. But it looked like you got some old stale chocolate, but that's nasty anyhow. Mm-hmm. So I can't believe it. Oh my God.
And then we got a Shay from Instagram and said that she got a journal from somebody that regifted it, and then when she opened it on the inside, it had some stuff on there to the person that sent it to the prior person, and they didn't check it, and they regifted it back to them. The lady was so embarrassed.
Regifted the gift, but it had a special message in it. I'm gonna say this, you guys: if you gonna regift the gift, make sure you go through that gift. See if it's some money in there. They done put an old check or something. Make sure to see if it's something in that gift before you regift it. Because I do believe in regifted gifts. If it's something good and something you really not going to use. But just make sure you look at that gift before you give it to somebody else.
That's hilarious.
That is crazy.
I can't believe that my mom gave me 3/4 of a ripped doll. Oh,
dollar bill.
Oh,
take this out of the card and you still have it. Oh, now it probably was a crazy gift there, Carmelita, but it's sentimental now.
Yeah.
And then I bet you probably sit there and laugh at it. My grandmother used to give them gifts, and she would give cards. And it was my high school graduation, and I opened the card, and it said "Congratulations" on the front. And then when you open it up in the inside, it was like, "It's the boy."
I know, right? Grandma, like, you know what it is.
But that's how my grandmother was, and it was just hilarious. It was funny, and we just got used to her doing it because she just pulled cards out her side drawer. But okay, you guys, those were good. We're gonna go ahead and explain our giveaway. And if you guys still have some strange gifts given, you can still go ahead and put it into the chat. But for our giveaway today, we're gonna do one. You have to listen to the podcast the whole time because we're gonna give a question at the end of the day. Yeah. At the end of the podcast, and then the first person that answers the question will receive a special gift from us for listening to the podcast to the end. So we're going to go ahead and do our part 2. Since so many people asked, and we are so grateful and thankful that you guys asked and everything and wanted us to come back. Yeah. So what have I gotten myself into? Part 2. But before we go ahead and start talking, we're going to go ahead and play that promo video again that we played online for you guys. So go ahead and cue that video, and we'll be back.
Auntie, can you believe that this guy invited me to his house for the first date?
Are you serious? Like a Netflix and chill?
Yeah.
Girl, the sad part is it doesn't change when they get 50 either. Girl.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
What's up, baby?
Hey, how come you didn't tell me you had this much debt before we got married?
Well, I mean, I've been paying on it. So, I mean, what's the big deal?
You should have told me.
Well, too late now.
Okay.
Hey, that looked just like how you be doing.
You guys, we try to do some videos that are kind of lighthearted, but we know a lot of these matters that we talk about are very serious. So just kind of getting into some of the the points and topics that we want to go over today. And that first point was talking about financial history. And when you're married, and this is even when you're married and even before when you're dating, to learn somebody's financial history. And what we mean by that is how do they spend their money? Where does their money go?
Right.
Do they wear it all on their back? You know what I'm saying? Is it all in their house? Is it all in their cars? Do they have a lot of debt? These are things that you have to talk about even in the dating process, because it can transfer to the marriage relationship, and it can be a problem if somebody have very crazy spending habits and very different spending habits. So I wanted to read this scripture really quick. It's Proverbs 22:7. Need to mindful. I think it might be a word out of there. Did she put it up there for you guys? So Proverbs 22:7. Need to mindful of the power of debt. The rich rules. Yep. Okay. She got the rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is the servant to the lender. So you want to find out in the beginning how much debt they have. And in that video, we kind of made lightheart of it, but that's a serious thing. And when you come into a relationship and you're dating someone and you don't know all of this debt that they have, you don't know they got kids that they not telling you about, and they paying child support, and your check is $2,000, but they really bringing home $500. You don't know that. Those are things that you need to find out if you're in the dating process, in a serious dating process, and which you don't want to find that out when you're married. Because then you turn around and now you're married, and then now that problem becomes a problem for both of you all. And it's still things that happen today, even though people are, they're in that relationship like 2 years down the line, and they're like, man, I didn't even know you had this house that was foreclosed on, or this was going on. I never even knew. And now these papers are coming to the house. So it's important to sit down and talk about financial issues in situations.
And I wanted to just add on to that, because put it like this: if someone that you're talking to is hey, greetings, that said Dorcas from Las Vegas, greetings. But I was just gonna say this: if someone that you're involved with is like they're hesitant to disclose that information, that's a red flag for real. So if you're asking questions and they're like hesitant to reveal that information, then take heed to that, because if they're hiding something like that, then in my thinking is, well, what else are they hiding? Yeah, for
absolutely. Sure. I want to let me see, read one more scripture, Matthew 6:21, and it talks about where your treasure is, there your heart will be. So for where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So you want to find out, what is their money going to? So if we're going to get in a relationship and then that's all this person do is spend their money on clothes, and then now you're going into debt over clothes. Pamela says so important, because it can come back to bite you if you get married to them. Their debt becomes your debt. Absolutely, Pamela. It absolutely does. And so
I'm just gonna say, and some people looking to try to get some help to help pay off their debt. That's all I was gonna say.
And that's the thing that you need to find out when you're dating. Are they just with you because they know you got a good job and you can help pay their bills? Or are they with you because they love you and then y'all coming in this and going to do this stuff together? But you need to know, do not be afraid to ask the questions. Because once you're married, not saying that that's the end and they all, but once you're married, you're in it to work at it together. And you shouldn't want to come in something and you got to work so hard with something that could have been taken care of before you got in it.
Or like this, you may decide, listen, you got too much debt. And I don't want to get involved with you like
Peace
that.
Out.
Yeah, for real.
Because I ain't trying to deal with it. I ain't trying to pay your bill.
Right.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and go to our next point. Keeping people's business, keeping people out of your business. This is huge in a relationship. Dating and married, I'm going to move more so towards the marriage. Keeping people out of your business and keeping ungodly advice out of your relationship. So I'm moving more towards the ungodly advice. So in Proverbs 11:14, it says, where there is no guidance, the people fail, but in the abundance of counselors, there's safety. So, and I wrote that one down, and in another version of it says, where there is no wise guidance, the people fall. But in the multitude of counselors, there is safety. It is so important with who you're talking to when you're in a relationship. Because you have people out there that's now, if you're going through something and they are totally against marriage, they're totally against relationships, they're totally against working it out, and you're sitting there talking to this person and you really want to work it out with your spouse, but you say, okay, my spouse did this, that, I wouldn't be doing that. I wouldn't stay with him. Oh, I let him go and he probably doing this behind your back. Once you start getting ungodly advice and things like that poured into your heart, then your mind starts playing, tricks on you and doing things like that.
Right. Yeah, I was just going to say, and with that, you want to just make sure, and I'll just say this. When me and Kyanna first got married, now I'm not saying that my in-laws or her folks or my folks are ungodly. I'm not saying that, but we had an opportunity to go away. And we moved to Savannah, Georgia I was there for 6 months. We were there, was it almost? Yeah. I was almost there 2 years and she was there a year. And it just gave us a time to kind of help come together and solidify our marriage.
And lean on each other without other people being in our ear or telling us what we should do because we're newlyweds or what we shouldn't do. Or, if we get into it with each other, we ain't had nobody to run to. We shouldn't be running over nobody else's house and telling our sister, brother, and mother and cousin everything of what's going on. Now, I'm going to tell you this. If there is something abusive, something that should not be going on in a relationship like that, you do find someone to talk to. And that's where it comes to finding someone with godly wisdom and not going to somebody who's going to lead you in the wrong direction.
Yeah. And what I was going to say, that was a good point. I was just going to say, I thought that helped us.
Yeah, it did.
When we first got married, because we never been married before. And it just gave us a chance to solidify our marriage. So and leaning on not only through our prayer life and our relationship with God, but just leaning on each other and communicating.
Learning how to communicate with each other.
So I thought that was real good. But
I got one more scripture for that point. Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will make your path straight. So that's just saying, going back to the godly wisdom, godly influence, and leaning on God and trusting on God throughout your relationship and leaning on his word to get you through any type of situation. And you can look in the word, look in the Bible, and he will give you the wisdom and all the knowledge that you need to answer any type of question, that you need if you're not even going to somebody else. Okay, Crystal Edwards said, good afternoon. Keila B hosts All the Way There podcast, guest sister and brother-in-law, and all the viewers of podcast. I've been absent and late today, but life keeps living. Lifing, probably spelled incorrectly. Well, welcome back, Crystal. How are you?
Good to see you.
Carmelita says, so true. Someone always says what they will do if it's them, knowing they wouldn't know what to do if they were in that position.
Yep.
Keep your business to yourself. Absolutely. So that'll keep people out. Because let me tell you, because what a turnaround to happen, you would be mad if I'm mad at Sean and I'm going over here telling my sister about what Sean did to me. Later on, me and Sean had made up. We back together. We back sleeping next to each other. And my sister over here still mad at Sean. So now you got the whole family mad. And we okay. And we are all right. Did you have anything else to say?
You know what I did? And Kyanna always laugh at me when I say this, but it's just a point that I learned from my mom growing up. Because it's like when you start getting stuff in your people in your business, those other people start saying stuff about your spouse or whatever. And my mom always told me blood is thicker than water. And I say it all the time because I am not getting in the middle of nothing between you and your family or talking about somebody else's spouse to them, because what'll happen is you say the same thing that person is telling you, then they turn around and get mad at you for saying the same thing that they just said. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So absolutely.
So no talking about somebody's brother, somebody's cousin and uncle and saying smart things about that. Keep that stuff to yourself. Like I said, if I'm mad at my sister, I can say whatever I want about my sister, but he better not open his mouth and say nothing. Yep, he just okay. That's between you and Keela. But yeah, just stay out of each other's out of their business. Yeah. Okay, number 3. You want to get someone who can grow with you in life. And we put this down here. This right here, this point gets me every time because it's so important to have somebody who will speak life, speak truth in your life while you're dating or even while you're married. And it's and if he's always negative and you're dating and he's negative and he's not speaking life into you and he's jealous, we don't want a jealous person. You know that he doesn't like when people compliment you, or he doesn't like because you got a promotion at your job, or you don't, like you say, those are red flags. You want to look at different things like that in the beginning when you're dating, so that you don't have to enter into a marriage and then now you're sitting here and now you're beat down because he or she they're draining you. Yeah. Yeah. So look at those things that if it's keeping you down, you're like, man, this person never had anything positive to say to me. They're never speaking life into me. They're never, telling me the truth or never doing anything like that.
Yeah, discouraging. Yeah, not encouraging. All of that. And I'll just give you a real life example. It was that about, I don't know, beginning of the year. Kyanna said something to me and just lit me up. It was just the nicest compliment. And Keela, what'd you say? People talk bad about their spouse or person that they are dating and they can't be trusted. Yeah.
They can't be trusted. Absolutely. They cannot be trusted.
Yeah, that's a good point. And what I was saying was, like, Kyanna made a point about speaking life into your spouse or people around you in general as well. When you remember that, and I kept going around, you said something and gave me a compliment.
Oh, yeah, I did. I put a post up about him and I said, it was just, I said, just simply putting this post up. It wasn't for, for any reason or something, but I was having a bad moment. And Sean just came and just poured into me. It was things I needed to hear, and then it was just like, well, man, he just lifted me up. He just poured into me. Kyanna, this. Think about this. I don't even want to go and say all what he was saying, but he just poured into me. And I was like, he just speak life into me. And I said, thank you, Sean, for speaking life into me. Yeah. And this man went around for like a whole month. I'm the life speaker. I'm the life speaker. Yeah, I'm the life speaker. I speak life into you.
Yeah, that was my little inside joke. But it was cool that I could, you see you helping her. You know what I mean? And and it was reciprocated. So that's important. You want to be with somebody that's going to encourage you, build you up, and not discourage your dreams.
Build you up. That's huge, because life already throws so many curveballs. It throws so many blows, and you want to be able to come to your house where that's your safety net. Yeah. That's your safe space. Yeah. You want to be able to come home and be able to relax and be able to get that, that encouragement, that build up, that praying together, that talking together, that communication, so that you can be able to be good to go back out to the world the next day, because you don't want stuff to, just get you down and break you down. Yeah. Say what she say.
Oh, Carmelita. Oh, okay. She says they might want you to get rid of them, so that they can get them for themselves. Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of scandalous, but it's the truth, for real. But yeah, very good point. What else? This is my part. Okay. So y'all listen. The first part of what we were like wanting to kind of focus on and just kind of address was, if you're in a marriage and the situations like that, and so you're like, you're saying to yourself, what have I gotten myself into, and how to kind of maybe finesse through that. Now, the stuff I wanted to just hit on was just more so related to like if you're in the dating stage, like the clip, the young lady that was in there, that was actually my daughter in that clip with Keela, and it was talking about the fella asking her to come over to his house, and and that's, I mean, I'm just maybe old fashioned. I'm just saying something that I feel that worked in our relationship, and that was kind of like we did the kind of like I call it prevention dating, and what I mean by that is like we can look back over relationships that we had with others and just say like, whoo, like that was like a mess. It was a mess, and it was like you're going through the relationship and you're dating or whatever, and it's there's a lot of carnage from the dating process, and you end up you don't get married, y'all break up, and you find that you done gave yourself away and slept with them and did all this other stuff, and now it's like you got soul ties connected to them, and it's like we're giving marital benefits to somebody that we're not even like committed to in that way. Does that make sense, y'all? And I'm just big on that, and I think one thing that stuck out about when Kyanna and I dated was we created some serious boundaries, because the first thing you're gonna find is, and when I first saw Kyanna, she was attractive, you know what I mean, and she was digging me and I was digging her, you know what I mean, and that's the thing when you first find out like man, you're physically attracted to someone, is we're caught up in the physical. And I just got some points down here that I wanted to just talk and share with you guys. It's like, why do we need preventative dating, right? And I put down here that we've been told that dating is a preparation for marriage, right? But what if we actually just flipped it and said that dating is actually like a filter? We're using that as a weeding out process. And you want to make sure that when you go into a marriage or even leave or if you leave the relationship, that you're not left in pieces, but you actually have peace. You have peace about going into the relationship, or peace about leaving it. And you can say to yourself, you know what? When we stop dating, hey, listen, I'm at peace. I didn't do anything with no malintent. It just wasn't a good fit, So
can I say something? And then when I say dating, when I think of dating, people have so many definitions of it today.
Yeah.
And when I think of dating, I think of just going out and you're getting to know that person. I'm not talking about sleeping with them. I'm not talking about planning your marriage. I'm not talking about any of these things. Because a lot of times what I tell my girls is you're going to date people. I remember back in the day, we used to have people that would say, oh, you meet that one person, you don't date all these people, you meet that one person, and that's the person. But if you don't go on dates to find out what you like and what you don't like, you will never know what you want. You know what I'm saying? So I'll tell them, you got this one person that you dated, don't date this one joker. And then that's just it. And you set for life. You need to know what you like and what you don't like, what this guy did, because this guy could do stuff for you. And you like, okay, like we said in the last video, you opened doors and did things like that for me when we dated, but then you get this other guy and he opened doors, but he's a lot more romantic. You like, man, I never knew I wanted somebody a little more romantic. You know what I'm saying? So you're dating people and you're getting to know people, and it don't even have to be dating. It could even be just in group things, getting to know people in groups. And I know some people look at that, I'm 40 some years old or I'm 50 some years old, I'm not dating nobody in groups. You still should date in groups. There's nothing wrong with that, because just because you're 18 years old don't mean your hormones change because you're 18 years old and you're 50 something years old. Still the same thing can happen at both of the same ages. And so you want to just make sure, let's say, and observe.
Pamela said here, and observe them in all scenarios.
In all scenarios. Yep. Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Yep. So regardless to what age you are, it's still the dating process is almost still the same. Now you may be looking for different things when you're in your 50s because you're like, okay, what type of job he got? Do he got benefits? Right. Are we getting ready to retire?
Right.
Rather than somebody who's 20 years old and they're like, we're getting our first job. Do you have a car yet? You know what I'm saying? And things like that. So it is different levels, but some of the stuff is still the same and some of the principles still work the same.
Yeah. That's a good point. And I made a note here. I thought this was real good. Like in terms of dating is like a job interview.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're both interviewing each other. And this is something that really stuck out to me. It's like we'll go through. I remember one job I went through almost 7 interviews before getting a job offer. But we'll meet somebody, we attracted to them on the first go around, and then we sleeping with them on the first date. One night stand. You follow me? And then don't let it go awry, and then something come up, and now you caught something, STD, or you wind up pregnant or something, and that's why we say preventative dating. So it's like when you're not giving yourself away, and it's a bunch of carnage left from that. So again, in some eyes it might seem old fashioned, but I'm more of the mindset. Let's just be preventative in order to not cause a big mess and mess things up, and it might be with the wrong person. So some of the points that I put down here is one scripture is Proverbs 4:23, and then in NIV, and it says, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." Right. So you want to just be mindful that don't date somebody like you're already married, and don't give marital level access to someone who's not even committed to you yet. So that's something just to be mindful of as you're going through that process. So that's why we need preventative dating. Another point I put down here is don't put your cart ahead of the horse. And we in that video we joked, and my daughter was playing in the skit about the guy asked her to come over to his house and watching Netflix and chill, right? And so is put like this. Let's just be, we being honest. Oh, Carmelita said, "Oh man, it's going." What did Carmelita say?
Carmelita says, "Yes, meet up.
Okay.
Who you date when you leave from the date. Don't go straight home. They might follow you back to your house."
Oh wow, yeah, that's good. Yeah, yeah. You circle around. Hey, I hear you on that.
Yeah.
Vern said, but you should ask her to make you a plate or two just to see if she could cook. No, and hey, I feel you on that, Vern. And it's a time and a place, but you know what? I'm gonna say this, and that's a good interjection because Kyanna actually stayed with her folks. So when we was in our dating, I would go over there as opposed to her coming over to my house. I was staying by myself. So it's like, because then you end up by yourself and you watching Netflix or at the time we wasn't watching Netflix. but yeah, and my mom said just because it's old fashioned doesn't mean it doesn't work. That's very true. And but I mean it prevents a lot because I mean if we're honest, we could be up there snuggling and watching movies or whatever, and next thing you know, the physical leads to more.
It leads to more.
Yeah.
And just him even saying the physical leads to more. And I'm just thinking I'm going for older people because a lot of times it's out there now with the statement of testing the
testing the waters,
and testing the merchandise before before you
Blockbuster. Chill, right?
Testing the merchandise before you purchase it. That's one thing that you have got to trust and trust God on, and be a communicator in your relationship with. Of course, you're not going to know if you're not having sex with that person. You're not going to know what they do. You're not going to know how they move. You're not going to know if you like it. You know what I'm saying? But you have to be. Like if I like. Oh, God. But you have to be upfront in a relationship. And I'm talking to the married people now. And even going into the relationship, and that's why it's so important when we talk about premarital counseling, because things like that come up in premarital counseling. Sex is talked about. It's not not a taboo or not something that you say shush about. You know what I'm saying? And nobody talks about it, and then bam, you get married, and then everybody looking like we never even discussed what each other of us like. You know what I'm saying? So you need to discuss those things prior to that, and in marriage counseling, things like that. So.
Yep, that's good. And I put down here, don't put the cart ahead of the horse, y'all, because that's important. Because again, and I like what Mom or Doris said, that it may be old fashioned, but it still works, and it does. I just, especially if you're in that dating stage of it, the physical stuff, we can put like this: physicals lead, the physical stuff lead, and if you start putting the cart ahead of the horse, what I mean by that is you're putting your you're giving marital people access to stuff in your life, and y'all not officially committed in marriage like that. They living in your house, y'all splitting bills, stuff like that. That's just a lot. And then the breakups are that much worse. Vern says that cuddling leads to kissing leads to other stuff leads to friend of the court, leave the house and flee. Yeah,
absolutely.
Real talk.
He's right. Yep. He is absolutely right.
And I want to go to my next point. Let me see. It says here the trap. I put down here the trap of physical attraction. And so, and I'm just, and no judgment, y'all. Yeah. And this is just stuff from talking to people that are, you may be dating. And this is Vern says, what did Vern say?
Do y'all feel like premarital counseling in the church really covers the nitty gritty marriage? Some churches do. We talk about a little more, in premarital counseling. I can't vouch for what other pastors are saying or what other people are saying, but the way our curriculum is set up, it is set up to talk about things, to open up. And I suggest people to take that regardless to if you have been married before. What tends to happen if you have somebody of a different age, they've been married, they feel like, okay, I don't need to, discuss this. I don't need to go and sit in front of anybody to go over any of these issues or questions that I have. I can just talk to my person. But what that counselor does is sits in front of you guys and open questions that you may never discuss. Yeah. They may sit there and make this person pull something out of this person that you like, man, you're not doing that to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in that type of sex stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it'll pull different questions out that you may not by yourselves actually cover. So yes, so Vern, so to that point, I can't go on what somebody else, what another pastor or whatnot goes over, but we do get a little, a little into the business.
Keela said praying at this age that they don't have erectile dysfunction.
Well, we praying
and you asking, but it's the stuff comes out.
It comes out.
Yeah, you ain't going. I'm talking about the stuff. I mean that information. But Keela said this is another subject though because they could lie. Yeah. But that's like
they absolutely
and we praying and I know you are as well that
praying and physicals and doctor things. Yeah. We talked about that last time because a lot of stuff some people already know. And then that's why we said it's important to get doctor reports and physicals done. Y'all are cloudy. Reports and physicals and things like that in the beginning so you know what you're getting yourself into. Because if it's a person, it's a difference when somebody did not tell you. They knew they had what's she say? Erectile dysfunction. They knew they had that, but they didn't tell you. It's a difference in that than when you're married to the person and something happens. Because things can change when somebody's married. Somebody can get sick, stuff can stop working, somebody can end up having surgery. It's different things, that can happen in a marriage, but you want to be as honest as you can in the relationship and putting all the cards on the table. All your cards on the table.
Appreciate that, Vern. Thank you, sir. Yeah. So listen, I want to just hit this real quick too, and that's a good topic though. You know what I mean? As far as there's dating and age brackets.
Yeah, because age brackets it's a huge thing when you're in different ages because you're looking for different things. When you're younger, you may not be looking for all of those things that is somebody who has been married before, who has been through all of these experiences and they're heartbroken. They got to get over certain things and don't want to take that stuff into the next, relationship. And you want to put who she said, and that little blue pill don't always work. Oh God, I didn't need to laugh like that. But right, she's telling the truth. She is telling the truth. And if a person does not have a pastor, who would you recommend them to go to for counseling? I'm gonna say this because if a person do not go to a church, a lot of churches do offer counseling, but we always tell people you don't only go to your church. If there's other issues, you need to go to a different counselor.
Like a professional.
Like a professional counselor. And then I'm going to tell you this as well, like through your jobs, they have different counselors. And then sometimes, even though those people are professional, that's their skill, that's their trade, they still have Christian backgrounds. Yeah, so a lot of people can give you, you can request that. Yeah. So a lot of people can give you both ends. They have that worldly side of it and they have that Christian side of it. And then I'm gonna just throw it out there and be honest. I went to counseling for a little while because I'm trying to figure out what is going on with me. You know, it wasn't him. It wasn't the kid. What is something going on? What is going on with me? And I need to sit down with somebody else to figure out what is making me feel the way that I feel. Yeah. I'm just naturally a bubbly person and and all of this stuff, and come to find out it was some medical stuff mixed in with me and the stress level and need to bring down my stress level and things like that. But I found all of that out in counseling. And this young lady was a professional counselor, but she had a Christian background, and that was something I requested. So she gave me the word and she gave me some practical tools to get through the things that I was getting through. So just throwing that out. And then always look into your jobs. Your jobs have, if you have the benefits that you can go through your job, you can have certain amount of sessions, and things like that to sit down and talk to somebody. It may not be that you have to sit with somebody for a year. It may be a few sessions just to get you to this point, to a certain point. But just to that question. So I wanted to answer that question.
I'm gonna go to the next thing I wrote down. Oh, actually, it was the still thing that was the next thing I put down here is like the trap of physical attraction, right? Mm-hmm. And that kind of line goes in line with putting that cart ahead of the horse. And one of the things that I found, right, and especially growing up, I didn't grow up around or like come from a lot of folks that were actually married, and I didn't see that, and so in my eyes, what I saw around me was people that were kind of, they were like dating in a different way, and it was, the results were not stuff that I necessarily wanted for my life per se, and when you get caught up, sir, in the physical aspects, because when that physical stuff goes away, right, the sex part of it goes away, and now you left with what's the substance behind the person? What do you know their values? Yeah. How do they handle stress? One of the things that I really got a chance to see Kyanna and what I thought was good was how she was able or saw how she handled when I lost my mom. My mom passed when we were a year into the dating and everything. And so, just to see the how she handled it, I was just like taken aback by that. Super supportive.
And it was tough. He's mentioning that, but it was tough because he was up and down. We were getting to know each other, and things like that. And as we're going through the process of getting, to know each other and all of that stuff. Sorry, I know she didn't wrote that in there.
I try not to go just physical attraction never again. Now listen, I'm not saying you can't be in physical attraction at all. Don't let that
you need to be physically attracted. You need to be.
But I'm just saying, don't let that lead you. Anyway, go ahead, man.
I was just saying because it was tough going through that because he was at a point to where I knew he was not a moody person, but going through the loss of a parent just brought the emotions all around, up and down, all over the place. Yeah. And so I had to learn how to, how to talk to him and deal with him. And then he had to learn how to calm down and talk to me. So that's basically how they say it.
Vern talking about Pastor Ricky Bell said, never trust a big butt and a smile.
He could report.
Yeah, for real. But I just want to say this: just making sure that you learn what the person's about. What their family dynamics. Do they want to have kids? Career goals, path, life goals, all that stuff. Do they have a calling on their life? You want to know that stuff. And the scripture that I put down here is Proverbs 31:30, and it talks about the New International Version that charm is deceptive, that beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Mm-hmm. And you just want to make sure that keep in mind that it's more than just the physical. Just look for the other things before you put that cart ahead of the horse and get trapped into just the physical. The other thing I put down here is just remember a few snuggles can lead to something else. And again, and it all follows a certain pattern or theme and where I'm going in. And that's, don't put that cart ahead of the horse. Don't get caught up in just the physicals, because when you going with just that and there's no more substance to it, then it leads to further issues, and then you ask yourself, what have I gotten myself into in that relationship? And then I just put establishing boundaries are everything, right? You want to just make sure that I put down here, boundaries are to keep people out, but they're to keep you whole. And you want to just make sure that you're setting boundaries early in that relationship. And then the person that doesn't respect your boundaries, then that's not somebody that you necessarily want to deal with. And from both sides of it. So it builds respect, trust. And Kyanna, she, I could trust her, and she trust me. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where we found ourselves, your legs rubbing together like crickets, because that junk will happen. Don't go no further, Sean. I can see it on her face. Don't say it. but no, it just helps you to understand where they are. And what Pamela said, are they demonstrating the fruit of the Spirit? You know the true by its fruit. Yeah, you do. Absolutely. Yeah, you do. And then the last thing I put down, it helps you learn if a person can honor your standards and what you're about. So the scripture, and I'm gonna close out with this, is 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 3 and 4 says, in the New Living Translation, that God's will is for you to be holy. So stay away from all sexual sin. Then each of you will control your own body and live in holiness and in honor. And I just put it like this. The Bible talks about how if you follow out the way of God's doing things, then that's a pathway to success. I'm paraphrasing the scripture, but God's way of doing things and honoring what his word says, it's just a successful pathway. And it's not leaving you in a situation where your relationship is just, it ended with a lot of carnage. And my challenge to you all is this. If your relationship were to end. We didn't go to the challenge. Oh, my bad. I jumped the gun. So we're going to, the game winner. All right, y'all. All right, cool. Before I go to the closing challenge, I'm going to ask you guys this. What was my question? One of the points. What was one of the points that I mentioned in prevention dating? Can somebody tell me what was one of the points?
Whoever puts it in there first.
What was one of my points in prevention dating? I said it a couple times. Thank you. Thanks, Pat. She said you guys are doing a great job.
Thank you, Pat.
Appreciate you, cousin. Yeah. Anybody? We got a gift for the first person that can tell me. Name a point that I mentioned in prevention dating.
Even if you don't say it verbatim.
I should have said, y'all paying attention. Don't involve other people. No, I said don't put the blank ahead of the blank. You said asking the right questions. Asking the right questions. Is that asking the right questions? Nope. Well, let me see.
Well, yeah, you
got that? Okay.
Do you know their values? Yep. You just didn't name the main part.
There you go.
So that's fine.
So we're gonna, is that go Dorcas?
Yeah.
Am I saying her name right? I apologize if I'm not pronouncing
Dorcas,
your name right.
Last name IDOWU.
Oh, Pat.
So Dorcas was first, though.
Yeah. Okay. So Dorcas, we got you. Pat came in like a close second.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So you were right, Pat, but Dorcas came in first. And then All the Way Podcast, Dorcas is gonna reach out to you so we can get you your gift. She won a $50 gift card, so hopefully that can get you a little breakfast or lunch or something with someone. If you got a date or if it's just you and your kids, whatever you want to do, but hopefully it can cause you help you have a good time. And then we can go ahead and go.
Okay, so listen, y'all. The closing challenge is ask yourself if you're involved with someone. if this relationship, if it ended today, would I be proud of how I handle myself? Or put like this, if you know going into a marriage that you about to, at a point that you're dating somebody and it's going to that next step, do you say like, okay, I feel at peace and there's not like the relationship is really in pieces and we're trying to pull this together and make it work. So ask yourself, that's the challenge for this week. So and if it's not, then the answer is no. I'm going to say this. Then you want to start doing things differently. Just do some reevaluation. Number one,
keep the gift card. Give me a date. Okay, fat. We need to have a dating show.
for real. So I was just gonna say this, y'all. Just if the answer is no, y'all, you just want to make you're very welcome, Dorcas. Just be prayerful. Do some soul seeking and seeking God on His direction for that too. And just remember, dating is an interviewing process.
Yeah.
All right.
It's an interviewing process. What I wanted to say, you guys congratulate Dorcas. Thank her for being a winner. And then I did have something at the beginning that from that question that we had. Let me see, that Doris had said. She said she knew a lady that married this guy, and she said if he had some kind of bill due every day, that he had some kind of bill due every day in the month, they had to file bankruptcy in the first year of marriage, and she was devastated. So I just went back to that one because I wanted to hit on that point. And that was one point of why we want to make sure we go over these things, in the beginning before you're dating. Ask as many questions and let that be a red flag or an eye opener. If, like he said before, if they are not open to talking, you need somebody who is a communicator and who's going to talk. They may not talk a lot to other people, but are they discussing things with you and things that's going to benefit your life and, you guys' life together? Because you don't want to turn around and end up in that situation like them. And then a year later, now you guys are filing bankruptcy and you're like, what did I get myself into? So
that was good.
That was good. Yeah. That was, look at me say that was good. Look, I tell myself that was good, you guys. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and
go ahead. Read the challenge one more time.
Read the challenge one more time.
Okay, so you want to ask yourself if you're involved with someone, that if this relationship ended today, would I be proud of how I handled myself? Or if you're in a relationship and it's headed toward that next step, where it could be committed, you guys are in the process, maybe we considering marriage. Are you at peace with how that relationship is going? Are you like, or is it in pieces where you're literally like it's kind of like a fragmented relationship and you're trying to piece it together to make it work? And if the answer is no, you're not proud of how you're handling that, or if it is a relationship that's kind of fragmented, then you start doing things differently. Only you can determine what that differently is. If it's, what, we need to step back and take a pause for a minute and reevaluate this thing, or you say, you know what, I am at peace with this relationship and I feel like it's going in a good way. That is that's the challenge for this week. And just remember this, I kind of framed it as prevention dating, right? Because you're dating, you just want to make sure that you're treating that as like an interview, right? And you don't want to just meet somebody and then next thing you know, everything is just you're doing stuff and y'all not married. You're putting the cart ahead of the horse, right? And then how I looked at it was like this. I wrote this down. I said prevention dating is how you walk away. You can walk away or proceed with wisdom, not wounds. You can make decisions with a clear mind because Lord knows that if your feelings is involved and you done got you thinking with and my mom used to say which head you thinking with, right? You can make clear decisions and dating and moving forward. And if the person's not good for you, or put it like this, you can make a decision if that person is good for you or not, if you got a clear mind.
Yeah. And just going off of what you're saying with the clear mind and just going on the woman's side of it, just women be careful. Even though a man can do the same thing and their emotions and everything can get caught up in something so fast, but I'm just saying it because women tend to move quickly. If he's saying the right things, if he's calling you in the morning and he's giving you all of these, sending you all of these verses in the morning and good morning beautifuls, we get caught up, in all of that, and then we skip parts. We skip parts of the dating phase, and now we then jumped into, this is the right guy for me. This is my fairy tale, and I'm going to marry him. And then we skipped all of this stuff. And then now, what do we have?
You asking yourself.
Love bombing, she said, absolutely. And people do that all the time. You never heard of that?
Never heard of it before.
So yep. So love bombing, they're filling your head with all of this stuff, with all of this good stuff. Look at Sean. He go look it up.
What is love bombing?
They're filling your head with all of this stuff that they know you want to hear, and what's going to basically trap you. And it's harder for you to move out because you're so caught up now, in the situation.
Yeah.
And we want to just make sure we're not getting so caught up in what's going on that we can't see what's ahead of us. And we're not saying go into your date and you're just like a robot. You know what I'm saying? You're reading all of this stuff off the paper, but just keep your eyes and your ears open. We're just in a different day now where you just have to be so open to what's going on around you, what the person is doing, what are they doing in their spare time when they're not with you? Who are they with?
Yeah.
What are they at the club? You know what I'm saying? And they telling you they at home. Yeah. So different things like that.
So they lying to you.
They lying to you. Do they cross dress? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. On the weekend. Yeah. But they looking like they, from the street. Look, I always do my that's me doing my man walk, y'all. But they look like a man one day, and now the next day they look like a woman. Yeah. We're dealing with a lot of different things now that long time ago we didn't have to deal with, So we just want you guys to keep your eyes and your ears open, because we believe in, in marriages. We believe in God being able to be in the middle of marriage. We believe in marriages being salvaged and, and things like that. And if we can leave here with one thing, we hope that this has given you guys some positivity on life, on marriage, on dating and relationships again. Yeah. So hopefully that has given you something positive.
Yeah. Again, that was some good stuff. So thank you guys. We saw the feedback. Crystal, thank you. We appreciate that feedback. Thank you so much. And y'all, and Keela said she see another show happening on Pretender. I know that's right. So listen, y'all, thank you again for watching. And then tell them, if y'all got some folks y'all know, share that with them. Let them know, send this stuff to them. Word out. We trying to help some folks.
Yep. So, and if you're watching the replay, Keela B from All the Way There podcast will respond back to you. So still go ahead and put some comments in there, and we'll also come back and give you some comments. And we will see you guys next time. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Love y'all.
Thank you.
It.
Love you.
Bye.
I think